Welcome back to another episode of Too Skin to Scrap. I'm going to go straight to the workshop. We're going to paint our bits that we need painting, and then hopefully we can start putting this bike back together and work out what other little bits we need. So roll them credits, let's drive to the workshop, and I'll see you over there. So I'm just going to quickly blow over the bracket I made. Start off with some epoxy primer. Happen to just have some in a can. Yeah, blow that over, let that dry for half an hour, and then just get some satin black on that, match the rest of the bike. So that's that done. Brilliant. On to the next thing. Just going to give everything a degrease. A quick spray over any bare metal bits with some etch primer, and then we can get on to spraying. I have already primed the chain guard just off camera when I did the other bit. So yeah, I just wanted to get straight on with doing some painting with you guys on camera. So here goes. It'll be real nice to see everything back in one colour after messing around so much before. Changing that rear hump, I think, has come out a lot better. It seems a lot smoother in my opinion. Camera didn't really make, you couldn't really tell on the camera, but by eye I think this hump looks a lot better. And I think once everything's all bolted up and together, she'll look real finished and real nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do today is try and get these two little bolts out. I think I'm probably just going to grind the tops off of them and then try and remove the threads with a pair of mole grips. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Right, we're back at the bike. As you saw, everything's painted now. We have to make two more little brackets. One just to hold the adjustment of the headlight, and we need one for the exhaust. I'm thinking of trying to work out to bolt it to this. I did cut the old bracket holder off, but it was a bit bulky, and I'm hoping to use sort of maybe just something on the back of this, or even just use a bolt instead of the clip-on circlip and pin. I might put a nut and bolt through that, have it adjust on this one here, and just having a small exhaust bracket. But I want to get the two riv nut stuff at the back of this so that we can put this under tray on, get all this wiring sorted out, get this under piece back on under the seat so that we can put the indicators back in, we can put the locking mechanism for the seat back on, and we can get this bit really boxed off. The side panels I've just left for a while. One of them snapped on the other side because it's such a thin piece of wood around the petcock that it just got damaged. But we'll do some strengthening, some wood glue, maybe a bit of steel and some screws on the back side. You won't see it, and that'll be that sorted. And I want to dye them grey a bit more. I do have quite a bit of that wood stain still, so maybe one or two more coats of that just to really darken it out. But let's get this sort of bike boxed up back together, and it's just sort of, we're so much closer to the end, but we're not quite there yet. But let's get some wiring in trays on, get some riv nuts done. So I'll bang on time lapse as we usually do, and just get a load of this boxed off and actually finished. Hopefully that's the end of this whole section and ordeal of redesigning the hump. So let's get on with it. There we go. So it's much tidier on there. It's got a bolt this rectifier in. It goes on there. And that is much tidier. Let's stick some cable ties on these or something, just to get them looking decent. But yeah, starter solenoids down here. It's not in the way of anything. These get to these. That's all sound. Lovely. Came out well. Well, that's the rear hump all on. She is a tight fit for sure, but I think it looks much better than the first one. It fits a lot better. It holds its lines better along the back section. Let me know what you think, guys. Oh, she's a tall boy. She's definitely got a bit of girth to her, hasn't she? Bit of back. Help me aerodynamics, as they say. I probably won't, but yeah. Right, we've got a new chain guard to go on, and I managed to sort out the other foot peg so we can get that on as well. So let's do that. Well, she's nicely tucked away. She's super tight in there, but there should be a couple of mil. I might get a feeler gauge in there when I put the magnet in, glue the magnet in. Bit hard to see, but she'll definitely do the job, I reckon. Not a bad little bracket, if I do say so myself. Not ideal, in my opinion. It would be cool to maybe change the clocks to a GPS one or something like that, but it'll do for the near future. So just gonna do the tyre stickers quickly. We did this first one so long ago, but I can't wait to see what it looks like on the back and the front. But I know if I did the back first, I'd never do the other side. I'd just do one and see what the bike looks like. So let's smash out this first, the front side, and then we'll move on to the back and do that. There, perfect. come back to the bike the next day. That glue apparently needed 24 hours. I literally know as well as you do how this has turned out. So I am gonna stick it on the tripod and we'll pull this the tape off, and let's see whether they stuck or not, and we can have a final little look around the bike just to see how it looks with the tyre right on both sides. So let's do that. Well, I'm well happy with that. It definitely needs some touching up on that where I glued them up yesterday, but both wheels are done. What a fantastic look to the bike. Oh yeah, get that exhaust on, get these last little bits all boxed off. Man, how sick does that look? Yeah, I love it. And if you don't know what channel this is, it's Too Skin to Scrap. We're getting there, nearly finished. Looks like a finished bike. That's all we've got time for in this episode, guys. Let me know what you think of the tyre right now. I think that looks banging in my opinion. Oh, I love it. I suppose it's my bike, so that's what matters. I'd love to try and work out how to get this letter in white again. I think maybe a little bit of thinners, just to remove any dirt we can. I know, try rubber, I think maybe. They're rubber, so maybe a rubber will help rub out the dirt. But I reckon, touch wood, in the next episode, we'll get that exhaust done, get a bracket made for that, get the bracket done for the headlight, finish the speedo. That's 4 things left. We'll check our list, but thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content, subscribe. We've got a ton more stuff coming up. We've got a car build, and we've got our next bike heading on its way, and I'll let you know all about that when we get it. But like, subscribe, it's got to be worth it with that final look on the bike, man. The hump's finished, looks sick in my opinion. I've just put the side panel on there for the time being. They're going to go darker, but I think for my first custom bike and a lovely cafe racer, a tribute to my dad, I think that's looking wicked, and I'm so chuffed. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.